Let's start with that new information on the investigation into last week's grizzly bear attack in Bella Coola, British Columbia. This is the second trapped bear following an attack on an elementary school group. That attack sending 4 to hospital, including 3 children and a teacher. Officers haven't yet confirmed whether either of the animals that they have caught was involved in the incident. Kevin Van Damme is an inspector with the BC Conservation Officer Service, and he joins us from near Kamloops in BC's interior. And Kevin, a second bear has been captured. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, thanks, Ian. I just received information from our team, our on-site team, that a second bear has been captured. The team is moving to the site and will be immobilizing the bear. And then the next steps would be we would assess the bear, collect some animal evidence from the bear, to assist us in making decisions, determinations, linkage towards evidence found at the attack scene, as well as witness accounts of the attack. So a bunch of work ahead of us yet to do.
So there are a number of people in British Columbia that know all about how bears are captured, but I think a lot of our audience probably doesn't. So can you explain, is it a trap the bear would have been in? To kind of describe the scene for us.
Yeah, so, the attack scene is near the community, a 4 mile, and it's an area that bears frequent regularly. So one of the first priorities or focuses that we would have when we're looking to capture bears is to find out where bears are moving. So in this case, we determined paths and areas that bears travel back and forth, and that's where we set up our, we set bait, food that bears like to, right now they're busy trying to get enough calories, enough food, so that we attract them into that spot, and then we capture them. And once we get them captured, then we immobilize them, and then we carry on our work from there.
And so you touched on this before, but let me just ask you, how do you go about trying to verify whether or not this latest bear, the second bear, was involved in the attack?
Yeah, it's a very detailed process. We've collected a number of pieces of evidence at the attack scene, whether that be tracks in the area, whether that be things that have been bitten down on, could be hair, could be anything at the scene that will help us link towards the bear. Of course, we have some witness accounts as well. But then even further, the bears left some forensics evidence on the clothing of the victim. So we're able to sort of utilize all of that in our assessment of the bear to get a general idea as to whether or not the bear is likely going to link to the offending bear. And then from there, we'll follow up with forensics evidence, and we'll do lab work to make sure that we have the right bear.
So, as I understand this, the working theory is that it was a sow, a female bear, and 2 cubs likely involved in this encounter or attack with the students and the teacher in the Bella Coola region. So there was another bear caught, 3 o'clock early this morning, but it was a male bear. So am I right in assuming that you feel it's unlikely that bear was involved in the attack?
I think it's really important to understand that we're basing our beliefs somewhat on witness accounts. And it really won't be until we get all of the evidence collected and linked up. So with the tracks and the other evidence that we've collected, we really have to link that together before we can make a determination. We did provide some information that we believe there might have been 3 bears involved based on witness accounts. But we want to be cautious in this case, so trying to provide as much information to the public as we can, because we feel there's still a risk to the community with this bear at large. So everything we, find out, we're trying to share with the community to really inform them and to make sure that they're protecting themselves in the event that they do encounter a bear. It's not uncommon for the residents in the valley to encounter bears, so the more information we can provide the safer the community will be.
So just to be as clear as we can be as of right now, the two bears that have been caught so far, the one at 3 o'clock in the morning and the other one not long ago, you have not yet made a determination as to whether either or both of these bears may have been involved in the encounter.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. The first bear this morning, we've done our full assessment on it. Our probability of it linking with DNA analysis is not high. As a result, we will be putting a GPS collar on that bear, and we'll be relocating that bear. Once we get our DNA evidence back, if it does match up to that bear, we would go and look for that bear. But we're relatively confident in the evidence that we've collected on the scene to really narrow down the bears that we're looking for.
And once if indeed you do catch the bears that are linked to this encounter or attack, what happens with them?
It's too early to say, Ian. We will assess the bears. We have technical professionals. We have our provincial wildlife veterinarian and large carnivore specialists, our wildlife biologists, and we'll be working with them to determine, the next course of action. Like, the big part of it will be the assessment of the bear, asking or trying to answer the questions, why did this bear do something that we just don't see with bear behavior? We don't see a bear coming into a large group of people and being aggressive like this bear was. So we're trying to answer those questions, and we won't know any outcomes until we get more analysis completed.
Yeah, and so one last question, Kevin. What would you say to people in the region about the potential danger now from grizzlies around Bella Coola?
Yeah, we're taking this very seriously. We have, 2 teams of highly trained conservation officers in the area. We're trying to, express a message to the community and to the public that this is a dangerous site. There is a possibility this bear may hurt another person. We don't know why it's behaving the way it is. It's really important that people heed that message and stay indoors. Let us do our work, and we'll come out with, the hope is that we're able to capture the offending bear.
Kevin Van Damme is an inspector with the BC Conservation Officer Service. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you, Ian.